in academics, entrepreneurship, sports, marginalized youth, and more. Tune in every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Youth Month 2022. Devant ensemble et toute jeunesse. Evolve. Growing youth for an inclusive and transformed society. Are you ready?
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it.
Hold on. You all ready?
Don't know it's Big C.
Mission. Mata killer. Let's go.
Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing, so when the evening comes I lift up my eyes to this unblessed old man. As far as I can, as far as I can, I can, my two hands in the air, as far as I can. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. Lift up my eyes to this unblessed old man. Ooh. Sometimes I'm lost and far from home, but I'll find my way. I follow my heart, I know I'll be found someday. While I'm lost, I learn and live. What do you say? Let's have a good time until that day. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing, so when the evening comes I lift up my eyes to this unblessed old man, with my two hands in the air as far as I can.
Of course, good afternoon and welcome back to Youth Voices. I am your host, Miss EDISA Eugene, and I am always happy to be back in studio, just ensuring that we have a voice every week as young persons. Of course, this afternoon is nothing different, but even more exciting, as today I have a very known young lady in studio with me today, and she goes by the name of Miss Bernell St. Rose. Of course, Miss St. Rose is the president of the Suffragette Youth and Sports Council, and she's also the president of the 5th United Youth and Sports Club. Right. So, of course, good afternoon to you, Miss St. Rose.
Good afternoon, Miss Eugene. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it is a pleasure to have you in studio with me today, and I'm looking forward to our discussion today. I know you have the nerves kicking in, but just want you to know that you will be okay. And our listeners, of course, I want to let you know that we would love if you could just stay tuned in with us for this entire hour. So right now, we're going right into our conversation with Miss St. Rose. How are you today overall?
I'm feeling good. I'm still on a high from our recent
Okay.
victory. But I'm feeling really good. Today's a good day, so I'm thankful. I'm really grateful to be here. So thank you again for having me on Youth Voices. It's always a pleasure being able to speak on development in Soufrière and for young people in and around Soufrière. So thank you.
Great. And of course, I'm happy that you are being positive today. I love the vibe. So, we definitely know this afternoon is going to be some good vibe. So, of course, we know that Bernell St. Rose, she is one of those running all over the field during Fifth United, whole victory and stuff. But we're coming to that. Just tell us, who really is Bernell St. Rose outside of just youth development and everything? Who is Bernell St. Rose?
Okay, so who am I? Actually, youth development forms part of who I am. I am very much involved in youth, social, and economic development. I am actually pursuing a degree in economic development right now. I'm doing my master's with EUGENE.
Okay.
I have been involved in volunteerism from a very tender age in Soufrière. I've worked with Rise St. Lucia. I've worked with ICANN, who is no longer active, but was very pivotal in ensuring that youth had a voice in Soufrière, and that we gave back to disadvantaged youth, basically. So I've been involved very young. I worked with the soup kitchen. I've worked with Living Water Community. I'm also a mentor with Inspire Me Mentorship Group. I'm the president, like you said, of Faith United Youth and Sports Club. I'm also a board member with the St. Lucia Social Development Fund. Recently, I became the president of the Soufrière Youth and Sports Council. So everything I am involved in has to do with youth, social development, economic development.
Okay, very good. So we see that Miss Bernell St. Rose actually carry many hats, and it's nice that you are being involved in so much, not just on a local level, but also on a national level. And I want to say kudos to you. Job well done so far. We could see how the Soufrière Youth and Sports Council has been making strides, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not being biased, but I am a member and I serve on the council as well. So I'm telling you people that so far so good. The work is getting done. And
Of course we are, and we also have the best secretary, so how could we... Come on.
Of course, I am the best secretary.
Kudos to the secretary who has
Who
been
could
keeping
beat
me
that?
on my toes.
Yes.
Thank you to her.
Definitely. And of course, it is good again to see young persons like ourselves just being involved and ensuring that everything is going well. So, of course, we know, as you mentioned earlier on, you still, have that hype from your whole victory.
Oh my gosh.
But before we talk about the victory, what was it like just being part of the whole competition? For those of you who don't know, we recently had our promotional league competition, our football promotional league competition in Soufrière. So we had our different clubs just being part of this competition. So you had Black Panthers, Challengers, Rising Stars, and also Faith United. And at the end, of course, you would have heard Faith United emerge victorious. But just being part of this competition, just tell us, how was it like for the team?
It was nerve-wracking, let me tell you. It was nerve-wracking. It was a long process. It was a long journey. But I believed in my boys. I believed in the Faith United boys from day one. We were in that similar situation back in 2018,
Right.
where we made it to finals with Challengers, undefeated throughout the competition. However, finals Challengers beat us 3-1. And it was nerve-wracking thinking that, okay, will history repeat itself? Big up Nisi. People like Nisi posted that history might repeat itself. However, I was very confident in my team, very confident in my coach, especially Nimaya Senja. Kudos to him, who kept the team informed, who kept the team basically prepared for the tournament. Though Black Panthers played, their senior team is already in second division, so they contributed no points to the tournament. They were just playing for fun. So it was basically a rival between Rising Stars, Faith United, and Challengers.
Okay. And of course, it's nice. I want to just big up all of the clubs though. It was nice to see everybody just coming out with the team and ensuring that persons participated. Yes, it was competitive. It was a little funny sometimes, I was wondering what really is going on with the guys, because you're not telling me you're doing these mistakes. Leave that for me. But, it was good to see even Soufriérians just coming out to support the vibe. And that's one thing I really love about us as a community. When there is anything going on in Soufrière, It could be maybe the poorest person, just hosting something. But we're always supporting, ensuring that persons just feel like we're at home. That's our stadium. And it was nice to see the stadium just being filled every night. And I'm hoping that the football league would have made some cash. Because, hello, there were people in there. Unless they jump over the fence, I don't know. But, it was nice to see everybody just coming out. And, of course, Bernell, we know that you, too, you still hyped about your old fifth. Now, mind you, I'm not fifth, guys. So,
You're not fifth, but you want to be.
None of that. But I must say it's nice to see you as a female, just taking up the mantle, being in the forefront, ensuring that everything is going on well. And of course, now we're going to talk about your victory, which is the part I know you have been waiting for.
Hello.
Did you guys even expect to win?
How you mean? Excuse me? Did we expect to win? We knew we would win, okay? We knew we would win. Honestly, it's not even a thing of ego or basically tooting or blowing our own horn. But I was very, very confident in my players. I'm telling you from day one.
Right.
I have been extremely confident in my team. And they can tell you that. Tell you that. Our biggest rival, I think, was Challengers because most of their players seem experienced, or rather are experienced, though they're out of Soufrière. But I believe our club had the more livelier, fit. We had the fitter team. We had the best team at the end of the day.
No, but
we had the best team at the end of the day.
To me, you guys were just lucky, but just
luck?
continue.
No, we don't deal with luck over here. We were the best team at the end of the day, and that's what prevailed. So I believe I have to give kudos to all the guys. I don't want to start mentioning names when I forget, but kudos to all the guys. They worked really hard for it. They would show up. Well, training could have been a stress at times, but they showed up. They ensured that they did what they had to do. They took notes from coach. Coach kept them grounded. Huge kudos to Nimaya. Nimaya alone can tell you he's been working really hard for Faith. We started back in I think 2014 was the inception of Faith United.
Okay.
And it was actually a club which was started off by two of the players, Neil James and Anthony Herman. And I joined them from 2014 or 2015 thereabout.
Okay.
And from there I've been witnessing their growth, witnessing their journey, and let me tell you, nothing makes me happier than seeing how these young men have grown and has continued to grow to make a name for themselves, and not only for themselves but for the club.
Right.
We started off as the youngest club in Soufrière, and from day one we've been having supporters. Thank you to those who continue to support us, continue to be instrumental in our growth and all what we can do. Thank you. We had those who were part of our grassroots program, like Maju, who is the best keeper.
Oh no! you come in and try and make the club look bad, but that not gonna happen.
Who is the best keeper?
I want to big him up though. I will take some time to big him up. Big up Maju for a very short guy, and you see that people who know Maju talk. Now, I want to big him up. Why? Because his mouth actually matches his actions on the field. During the whole competition, so big up yourself, Maju.
Faith
That
is
was
not
a
just
job
about
well done.
we talk the talk and we walk the walk as well, eh?
Y'all do it. Y'all
Maju
do
will
it sometimes.
Maju will talk the talk and walk the walk in the goal. Hello. Put respect on Maju Rivier's name, please. Okay? So kudos to them. I've seen Maju was one of our younger players, and to see what he is today is just so amazing. And I always, whenever I get the opportunity to speak about Faith, I will do it. Whenever I get that chance, I will do it, because I know where we started off and where we are now. We were on ban at one point. Ooh. Then last year we had a licensing issue. So we missed basically about 2 to 3 years of football. So just coming back with such a bang, I am happy. I am happy. I'm the happiest I've been everywhere I go. I'm smiling. I tried to wear something orange today.
Too bad. Let me tell you, her thing is it's not even maroon, it's red. It might look maroon on,
I
on your
tried to
screen.
wear orange today, but time was against me.
I think she may be trying to switch to Rising Stars. But you know,
Saga de Busa.
I want to now let's take a moment. So your people in the chat, your 5 people are in
Big
the
up,
chat.
big up.
So your coach is in the chat, and one of the persons who started the club in the name of Mr. Neil James is in the club. And
Big shout out to my
for
boys.
some reason, they think that I'm being a hater. Hello, I'm not being a hater. But Faith have too much fire sometimes, you know?
Excuse me?
Faith have a little too much fire
I think what it
sometimes.
is about you, I think what it is about you personally, Miss Eugene, you're just jealous that you're not part of such an amazing club.
That-
And we're welcoming you, you know. We're open arms, we're willing to take you,
No,
with,
thank
open,
you.
with open arms. We can discuss it after the show.
No, not gonna happen. So to our listeners who's joining us, of course, this afternoon, I have Miss Bernell St. Rose in studio with us, who is the president of the look, I'm forgetting the name of your club.
Faith United
Yes,
Youth
the
and Sports Club.
Yes, Fifth United Youth and Sports Club, and she's also the president of the Suffolk Youth and Sports Council. Now, I know some persons might be saying, right now, you guys should be neutral in studio. However, please don't take it to heart.
No.
You need to respect that she is actually the president, and so there is a time where you have to act as the president of your club, and then you can separate your other duties.
It's not
from
even
there.
just about being the president of the club. That's a family. That's my family. That's my football family. I've been with Faith United from 2014 about. So of course, that's who I would big up. That's who I would, ensure that progress is being made with. So it's nothing to be taken personal. I mean, all the other clubs have their pros and cons. They have their strengths and weaknesses,
Right.
just as us. But my family is Faith United, and that's where I will. That's where I am. That's where I will be. Who say Faith?
Too bad we cannot respond to you right now.
Who
But
say Faith? I say Faith. I say Faith always. Today, tomorrow, next year, next
okay,
week.
faith
I
to the
will say
glory of
Faith.
God, huh?
Okay, amen.
Now, also one more thing I want to address to the Fifth United people in the chat. Let me make you understand something. It's EDISA, EDISA, not EDISA. Let's get it right here. If you try and get me to join your club, at least get my name right.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you. Now, of course, we know that you guys are still in the celebration mood. Is there any big celebration party that at least we can be invited to?
Which we?
I mean, us, like everybody.
Who is the
Because
we?
since you guys are the best, and let me tell you, like in your club, a little secret. To those of you listening, a little secret. You see that fifth club? That's where the money at. That's where the money at. So I know there might be some party, something going on.
Excuse
So
me.
do you guys, on a serious note, have any
Of
plans
course, I
to-
think we need to celebrate the guys.
Yeah.
So plans with the executive are in motion for having a celebration, which is going to be grand, but
Okay.
it's not for.
Grand in meaning like even Queen Elizabeth might.
Of
might
course,
pop up?
I mean
Oh, okay,
that's
why
small.
not?
That's small stuff.
So limousine and all kind of thing, red
Mama,
carpet.
excuse
Okay.
me, who say Faith?
All right. Neil actually responded and say, I say Faith. Okay, I say Panfa.
So we're on a serious note. We are in process of planning some celebration for the guys, because not only because of their victory, but because of how far they've made it as a team, as a club. This year we had a few new players join us. We had Lance Andrew. We also had Elias from Canaries.
Jones, uh-huh.
Yes, Elias Jones from Canaries. Who else did we have? I hope I'm not missing out anybody, but we did have a few young people join us this year who were very instrumental in getting us to victory. So I'm really thankful that people are seeing our progress and want to join us and better us as a Faith United family to strengthen that team bonding that we have. So I'm really grateful for that. But yes, we are going to celebrate the players and their achievements thus far.
Okay, so it's nice, of course, you guys will be celebrating, and I just want to take this time to say congratulations to the youth, the Faith United Youth and Sports Club on your victory. Of course, I am not a member of your club, however, I am still happy that you guys were victorious at the end. I realize that you guys put in the work, and it is nice that you guys have this whole, I'm not sure what the word is, this unity You see, I think this is something.
Let me not to cut you up, but let me just say, though we've won that tournament, the promotional tournament, it's just the beginning for us. It's not a thing where we are now relaxed or we feel like, you know, we're the best, so that's what it is. We still have to work for what we want. We still have President's Cup coming.
Okay.
And we need to get past President's Cup to enter second division. And I'm not fearful because, I mean,
You
we
guys
have
actually have to
the
top
best
that, eh?
keeper, we have the best coach, we have the
Okay,
best
let's-
players.
okay.
So, I mean, I'm very confident, but however, the guys need to know that the work begins now. And
She's
we need
confident, but she's afraid.
Afraid Kisa.
Alright, but okay.
the journey just begins. It's a new journey, so we're working towards ensuring that we continue on that leg.
Okay, so nice, of course. And initially, before we started, I actually asked Miss and Rose, is there a song that maybe the guys would like to celebrate to? So right now, of course, my DJ is in studio. Big up DJ Buzz, he's in studio with me.
Big up Buzz,
We will
Buzz.
just be playing the celebration song, so to the Fifth United supporters and everybody listening, of course, this is your chance to celebrate. We will be right back. We have some of the Fifth United guys coming in, you know, because of course we're creating that whole atmosphere of vibe. So I'm seeing we have Maju, the best keeper, so they claim. Yes, he's here. So I want to take some time to just big up you, Maju, again, and big up Mommy Jude, eh? Big up Mommy Jude. Mommy Jude was there every game and taking me on. But I love Mommy Jude anyways, regardless. And big up your coach. I see he's there as well, Nimaya. We have Neil. And I want to take some time to big up Tony, you know, this guy, captain, right? He was the captain, and I realized this guy worked as the captain. So, of course, again, just continue enjoying the little segment that we're giving you, just like 2 more minutes of hype. So, just take advantage of it, guys. course, and this is the end of the celebration in studio for now. I don't want to say this is the end of the celebration. Next thing the president tries to take my neck in studio there. But of course, guys, I'm hoping that you actually enjoyed this segment that we gave you. Of course, it was just to ensure that you guys feel good at the end of the day. So, of course, big up again to all of you. And just continuing with discussion with our president, of course, now we're transitioning from being affiliated with any club as we are, and we're getting straight into council business, right? And Miss St. Rose, we know that you are the president of the Youth and Sports Council, which was sworn in April, right? Mm-hmm. Right. June. And so it's just a matter of... It was April, honey. Yeah. It was not April. But anyways, you know, we came in and you have been the president. So just tell our listeners what it has been like so far.
So far, it was April actually. The 18th of April, I think. Mm-hmm. Okay, so far, it's been a journey. It's been a learning process. Also one which you learn to do things differently. We're a new executive, so you have to learn personalities. You have to learn the strengths and weaknesses of your executive, to know how to assign and delegate tasks, and to know who can perform best at certain tasks.
Right.
So far, as an executive, we've had one major activity, and that was our club cook-off, which Force Jacques Youth and Sports Club won. Kudos to them. During that process, it was a bit tiring to the point where it was just a lot to be done. And I think we underestimated as an executive the amount of work that had to be put in to ensuring the success of our activity. And it was successful at the end of the day. But however, when we did our post-mortem, we saw where things could have been done, yes, much better. And we're looking to hopefully carry out one before the year ends. Hopefully it draws out, but however, we've received the support of many stakeholders in the community who are willing to come on board with us and support us in this venture. So far, I'm enjoying the journey. I think I have a wonderful set of executive members. Mm-hmm. My secretary, who is amazing, don't blush, who is amazing, honestly amazing at what she does. If you need anybody to count on, call on EDISA EUGENE.
With pay, yeah? Nothing is
call
free
on
anymore.
EDISA EUGENE. No, honestly, she is really amazing. So thank you, Miss Eugene. I would say that publicly. Thank you for being my right hand girl. But otherwise, the vice president, Mr. Kimson, has been very instrumental, who is also the head of the sub-sports committee that we have.
Yeah.
Soon we're hoping to have some activities with regards to sports, basketball particularly. Hopefully we can draw on netball as well.
Yes.
Coming up, we have some youth activity in September.
Yes.
We'll give more detail on that as time progresses, of course. But we're also looking to have an entrepreneurship expose. So I'm giving early notice that all entrepreneurs who are out there,
yes, get ready
stay
to
tuned and get ready, because we will have forms going out soon where you can sign up and be part of an amazing expose that we're looking to have, where you'll be able to network, showcase your skill, your talent, your business model, and just basically expose who you are and what you do to Soufrière. It's particularly for youth in Soufrière, youth in and around Soufrière Force Jacques. We also have many more activities coming, which I don't want to give too much detail about now, because they're still in the planning stages. Right. However, I want to ensure youth that we are trying to cater to them, to their needs, and we understand that sometimes what we think is necessary may not be what you think is necessary for them. Mm-hmm. So we're also trying to engage young persons, particularly unattached youth, to see how we could assist them and what they may need and how we as an executive can probably, because we can't do everything alone,
Right.
but how we could engage stakeholders, engage probably public office, the government, the district representative, how we could engage those persons to attain and reach those goals for youth in Soufrière, to make Soufrière what we want it to be.
Right. Great. So of course, so far you have given us so much information, and to me, it was even straight to the point where persons will actually understand what is going on with the council. So just keeping yourself informed as a community. So as she mentioned some of the activities that has already happened and stuff to look forward to, especially something that I am passionate about is entrepreneurship. And so I really love the fact that the council is actually working towards having an expose. It is not any regular expose. We have to say that, because Soufrière always turns out in whatever that we do. And so I'm hoping that we as entrepreneurs, we try to take advantage of this. Of course, as she mentioned, your forms will be coming out soon. So ensure that you fill in these forms on time, ensuring that you meet the deadline in order for you to be part of this. Because there is no preferential treatment when it comes to activities. It's first come, first serve. You sign up, you get through. We cannot just say, hey, because that's my friend, I will let you go through. That's not how it works. So ensure that you try your best to be part of everything that will be offered by the council.
Right. I think in the past, there has been an issue with awareness and public relations. So we as an executive is ensuring that whatever we were planning, the activities and initiatives that we were planning, that enough public knowledge is given, public information, is given out on those activities, and we do the necessary marketing to ensure that it reaches the scope, the lengths of youth in, around, in the corners, wherever they are, so that persons can be aware and not be feel left out, that probably they were not aware that certain things were happening by the council. So this is something that we're also trying to ensure that our reach reaches where we want it to be, and that persons can participate and ensure that our activity is as successful as we want it to be. Because without youth, there's not much we can do. Without the involvement of youth and the persons that we're targeting, there's not much we can do. So we need the involvement of young persons, we need the involvement of the entrepreneurs, we need the involvement of the mechanics, we need the involvement of those in academia, we need the involvement of the creatives, we need the involvement of the holistic youth in Soufrière to ensure that we're as successful as we want to be as a council.
Okay, and thank you so much, Bernell, for mentioning that. And specifically a while ago, you mentioned that without youth, really, nothing can be done. And we will dwell on that for some time, because a lot of persons don't believe that this statement is actually true. Now, of course, again, to those of you just tuning in to our show this afternoon, welcome to Youth Voices. This afternoon, I have Miss Bernell St. Rose in studio with me. As we go along, you will get to know again who she is. So just stay tuned in. Now, of course, this is Youth Voices. So everything being discussed is really in relation to young persons. Now, persons might disagree, of course, especially with young persons. But hey, this is Youth Voices, so you gotta listen. So, we're dwelling on this, as I said, for some time. There is this statement. Let me know what your thoughts are and your explanation of it. The youth is the future of tomorrow. Right? So you get some person saying that. On the other hand, you get person saying the youth is the future of today. Which one is true and which one is false to you?
I wouldn't say it's a true or false answer, because persons may have their reasoning for believing whichever statement that they abide with.
Right.
However, I believe the youth make up today. We are here. We are working towards a future, a sustainable one at that. I think youth, what we do today, the actions that we do today, the actions that we take today rather, affect our tomorrow.
Okay.
So the youth, we are the future, yes, but we are speaking in the present, we are the now.
Right.
Whatever we do will affect policy in the future.
Right.
Whatever we do will affect those behind us.
Nice.
Whatever we do can affect those who are ahead of us, right? So it's not a thing about youth are the future of tomorrow. So
Right.
you know, it's not about that. Let us develop youth into what we want tomorrow.
Now, thank you so much, Bernell. Now, you gave me exactly what I was looking for. So, you made it even hotter in studio this afternoon. Now, like you mentioned, it's really scales down to young persons being involved in everything because really and truly, whatever happens now either affects what happens tomorrow and it could actually affect what is actually going on right now. Now, this is how a lot of persons don't think. Now, hey, a lot of the times, you get that young persons are not being involved or even consulted, right? And I know you're on the council and we are a neutral body. We're straight, neutral. However, this is just discussion. Young persons are never really consulted as to, hey, what do you think can really be done? Or what do you think is the best way? And I honestly have an issue with that. And to me, it's not about young persons asking you to sit in the House of Parliament. We don't want that. It's just about...
We want it, eh?
We want it, but we're not asking you to take your seat there.
We want it, but we don't want it to be a thing of tokenism.
Right.
It's not just for us to look and to be there and look pretty, right? We want to be able to contribute to conversations. We want to be able to give a say, to have a say, and ensure that that say is taken into consideration.
Right.
Because it's one thing for me to speak on a particular issue, but if the government or the officials of the day does not think that my issue or my voice is important enough for it to be acted upon, then we will go nowhere.
Right.
So it must be a thing that you voices, big up your voices,
right?
Your voices must be respected. It must be enacted upon. I mean, I'm not saying that the opinion matters.
Right.
However, strategic opinions, constructive opinions should be taken into consideration by those at the heads, right? And that's what we're lacking in society. Enough opportunities are not being given to youth for them to be able to prove themselves. Enough opportunities are not given to young people, right? To be able to have a say. I mean, yes, I've been involved in youth parliament. I represented Sufra in youth parliament in 2020. And we were hoping, I was hoping that this would have set some sort of pathway for those behind me. Unfortunately, COVID hit. So the extent of that I have not been able to see. However, more opportunities must be given for youth in those spaces, in those safe spaces. So that's what we're lacking as a society.
Yes. And I would share the same sentiments with you. But I think you put it in a nice little way. But the thing about me is I just give it blunt. Like, check it, no filter. Because sometimes you try your best to explain it in a nice
Sometimes you have to be
way.
diplomatic.
Yeah. And persons don't really take it all in. And it is nice that you put it out so well. And I'm hoping to those in the forefront, they would actually be listening and taking notes. So the secretary is listening. Welcome to our show this afternoon. Please take notes. Now, my problem is too. Now, I think this is where, again, we fail in Sufre. Now, big up the Sufre Youth and Sports Council and the league and everybody who tries their best to get feedback from young persons. I believe a lot of the activities that have been tried to be fulfilled for us as young persons, again, young persons were not consulted. You just have a whole set of people sitting on an executive who believe I'm youth, like I have this youthful behavior. So, okay, they don't have jobs. Let's look for a sponsor from wherever, like let's say a hotel, and they'll say, we're going to just advertise, training and whatever, please sign up. But have you even analyzed, do you understand? To see, okay, as a community, majority of our young persons maybe they might not even be into hospitality, you understand? And others might be like, yeah, that's my thing, but majority is not into it. So what's the point of putting that program out?
I think as a society as well, we lack the necessary statistics.
Right.
Which is what I'm studying, development statistics.
Very good.
I think we lack the necessary research statistics to back whatever initiatives, plans, jobs, whatever the case may be, to see how far we've come or what we may need to change or what we may need to halt or stop. I think that's what we're missing, because going to your case of hotels, right? So new hotels are popping up and there's training for hospitality, let's just say.
Right.
That has been done, tried and tested, right? Yet still the unemployment rate is still at an alarming rate.
Right.
So there needs to be some point where we say, okay, over the years we've had this many hotels, we've had this amount of training sessions and workshop. How has it helped, let's say, with the unemployment rate? How has it helped young people better themselves and push themselves forward? How has, in particularly referring to SUFRE, how has it assisted in youth being more than what they just have to take, basically? Because sometimes they don't want to go into those things, but that's what's available. So sometimes youth really don't have a choice but to take what's available. So research needs to be done. Probably focus groups needs to be held in order to understand what attracts youth, particularly we're referring to SUFRE, what attracts youth in SUFRE, what can we put in place to target those youth, rather than just saying, you look, we're putting this in place for you, here is that. And sometimes those people who are at the table have, whatever happened in your time does not reflect into today's world. And we need to understand that some people need to get out of the egotistic world.
Thank you. Now, we have a lot of that in SUFRE, huh?
Unfortunately.
Now, and again, this is your voices, and this is where I express as a young person stuff that really affects us. And it's that whole egotistic behavior too that a lot of persons carry in SUFRE that makes it a problem for a lot of us young persons. I do agree that there are young persons who are laid back, straight, but it is so difficult sometimes, even somebody like me, it's still difficult for me to face some of those in the forefront because they don't listen. To them it's like, I know what I'm doing, this is going to work. Like, you don't, like you really don't, because you've tried this before and it has never worked.
Sometimes we just need to tweak the model to make it work for today. Exactly. And they're not willing to do that most times.
Yes, and that's my problem. Now I see Mr. Nimaya in the chat saying, EDISA, you're on the council, let's hope you bring that change. I will hold the two of you accountable if I see no change. Now, hey, sure, we can be held accountable because
we should be held accountable.
Yes, we are the ones really directly involved with young persons. And I too, I am even more involved with young persons, knowing that now I am the youth worker for SUFRE. I just had to express that.
Big up you.
Yes. And so it's like, I am going to try my best to connect and ensure that everybody really feels like they're appreciated in this youthful economy and society, everything. Because I just feel there are certain persons who go around doing it the wrong way. And so, of course, I could pledge on behalf of my council, straight, because we have a youthful council, that we are going to try our utmost best to bring that change.
Let me just say on that point of my coach, that yes, we want change, we want to see change, but there is so much we can do as a council alone.
Yes.
We need the assistance of stakeholders, we need financial assistance, we need support. So it's not just a thing where a 9-man squad or 9-man team or executive can do on their own. It needs to be a concerted effort, it needs to be a collaborative effort, moving for the development that we wish to see. It will not happen overnight. However, we must take the strides to ensure that it does happen, probably 3 years, 4 years, for those coming behind us. We need to set that path. So I think I'm honestly saying, I mean, not being biased or anything, but I think we've started on a right path.
Yes.
We of course we will have hiccups, but I think I know that our mindset with the SUFRE Youth and Sports Council is one that will benefit or will show improvement by the end of our 2-year tenure.
Right.
And you can hold me accountable for that.
Yes, and I too, you can hold me accountable for that. And I think one of the challenges might be now, that's on my end, I don't know for the council, but for me, one of the challenges might be dealing with these egotistic people. Straight, because no, now mind you, I like to say it, because but I might not say it, but it's true, because a lot of persons, and I know you're listening right now, whoever you are, and you know you maybe have that quality. It's like sometimes you see us as like a group of young persons who just want, but it's not about we want. Yes, we actually want, and we're telling you what we want, and we know how we could actually work towards what we want. So it's like we just need the support, as Bernell said. We cannot do it alone. So we need the minds of everyone. Stakeholders, those who are skilled in different areas.
We need the minds and we need the money.
Yes, we need the minds and we need the money. Why not? So, you know, I'm telling you, like, I just feel that is some issue that has really been affecting us in our community, which persons don't speak up on. Another thing, I think too, Bernell is also like, girl. No, but of course, your voices again, welcome. This is where you lay it all out because they're listening. The thing about it too, I think young persons that we consider to be unattached, like our ghetto youths, big up yourselves. Of course, there are human beings. Like our guest last week mentioned, that is a family. Like they actually have that family. And we might not understand what their relationship is, but right there, that's the family. And I do admire these guys. I don't know, but how others will think of it, but I really do admire them. I might not be in approval of everything that most of them do, but they are good people. Now, with so many young guys and even females, we have some females on the block. You might not see them there regularly, but we do have some females. I'm seeing this has been an issue for a very long time, where persons said, so many young persons on the block, so many young persons on the block. So it has just been repeated like over and over. Done? But what is really being done to reach these young persons? Like everybody's afraid to go on the block. I don't know what on the block have everybody afraid to go there. And I think, again, this is why I want to say to the council, and with me being on the council, I'm hoping that we take up the mantle to actually reach these young persons.
Well, we actually, and I'm not sure if you remember, but we actually did speak on doing research.
Yes.
And that would involve meeting them where they are,
yes,
having conversations with them to understand what they're looking what they're looking for within our council, because at the end of the day, we're serving them as well.
Yeah.
So what they're looking for, what they're expecting, what can we do? And we may not have all the answers, or we may not be able to provide all the solutions overnight. However, our voices as a unit can speak for them. We can speak for them. We can represent them at tables, at meetings with officials or those in public office. And that's what's important. Giving them that voice.
Right.
I think that's what's lacking as well. Giving the unattached youth that voice to feel that they're part of a unit, part of society. Everybody wants to feel welcome at the end of the day. Everybody wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel part of a family. And as a council, we haven't forgotten the unattached youth. It's not just about those who are quote unquote successful, because they may feel that they're successful in their own way. But so when I speak of success, I speak of academia or entrepreneurship or mechanics or all those creativity, all those things. But we're not speaking of that bracket of success.
Right.
But rather giving them that voice, giving them that listening ear. Because sometimes that's all somebody needs.
Exactly.
So as a council, we were trying a different approach to reach out to them. We're hoping that it's successful as we deem it to be. But we're looking to reach as many youth as we can. It's not just about the academics, like I said earlier, but reaching out to those who may contribute to society in another way, in another shape, fashion, or form. And that's what's important to us as a council.
And of course, again, it is nice to see that it just takes young persons again to just come up with the ideas, Because look at how easy it is to come. Okay, you have a group of young persons in the forefront of being the Super Youth and Sports Council. And so these are young minds who would be able to tell you, hey, let's try this.
Sometimes these men have some of the best ideas, the best suggestions, but they have nowhere to no outlet to vent that to.
Right. And I'm telling you that now, I don't know how persons will look at me as I will say that, but I connect with these guys because, like Bernell mentioned, a lot of them are brilliant. A lot of them are like literally brilliant. Like, I would have never expected a lot of guys to be listening to the show. Now, the reason why I know they're there, I'm letting them know, guys, I stand with you today. Because they would have already expressed, hey, you know, that's good vibe. Keep up the good vibe. And it shows you that they are actually interested, but there is really nothing for them. Like,
society has marked them out.
Yeah,
and
society.
That's sad.
Yeah. So that is my issue. And so, again, as a community, I just believe we could do better. To those of you in the forefront, you could do better. Now, the council is also in the forefront because we're serving young persons. And we are doing good, and I'm hoping that we continue. And persons are already looking to keep us accountable. So we do have to exceed these expectations.
Will keep us accountable.
And I'm hoping, again, you see, I know we always have these youth forums and stuff. I'm hoping that this can continue because this is where we actually learn from our young persons. What can be done, what is affecting us, not just as young persons, but as a community that could actually affect us as young persons. And we need to realize that in Soufrière, we have so much talent, we have so much going on. So we just need to ensure that there is just always this unity, this vibe, this everything, you know, you could think of, just to ensure that our young persons are on the right path.
And we need to be our brothers' keepers
as
well.
And of course, we are coming down with time, and I know a lot of persons are still tuned in, and I want to say a special thank you to everyone who has been tuned in from the time we started at 3 p.m. And again, we have Miss beautiful Bernell St. Rose, BB. Yes, yes, beautiful Bernell, BB, you get it? In studio with us this afternoon. Yes, and she has spoken on so much. And of course, we have the Fifth United guys still in the chat. We have your quote still in the chat. I want to big up Mr. I believe it's a Mr. Emran Henry. He has been tuned in for our past shows, always in Big Up Soufrière FM. And of course, thank you so much for just staying tuned in. Nearly saying to big up Shyam Ali. So I guess I'll take this time to big up Shyam Ali. I need to say that.
Big up Shayo.
Yes, he's also the treasurer of the Soufrière Youth and Sports Council. At this time,
he's also a Faith United member.
I think at this juncture, I will just take my time to big up everyone on the Soufrière Youth and Sports Council. So starting off with our president who is in studio with me today, Miss Bernell St. Rose. Then we have our vice president, Mr. Kimson William. Yes, then of course it goes down to the secretary, yours truly. Then my assistant secretary, Miss Nicole Ernest. Then we have our treasurer, Mr. Shyam Ale. We have our floor representative, Miss Nicole Harrell. We have our trustees. We actually have two trustees in the name of Mr. Kiefer Prosper and Miss Alexia Alcendo. Of course, all of these names we all are familiar with because they are always involved in youth development or anything that comes to advocating on behalf of young persons. So again, each and every one of you big up yourselves. I want to take some time to big up the clubs as well. The presidents of the clubs, whether it be Black Panthers, Challengers, Fifth United, For St. Jacques, Rising Stars. We also have Buto coming in the game. We have Barnes Drive. We have so many. Oh my God, I forgot our public relations officer, Miss Janice Gonzag. Oh my goodness.
Big up Janice. No, big up Janice. Janice
I have
has
to
been
big
doing
up,
an amazing job.
That's our media girl, eh? So of course we would know that Miss.
How could you forget Janice?
Yeah, it's like how you forgot your PRO? Let me tell you. But yes, big up our PRO. Of course, she has been keeping you guys informed, and the work, it just started. She's getting there. We all are getting there. We're trying our best to ensure that there is just positive vibes in Soufrière. So of course, as we go along, you will hear more of the Soufrière Youth and Sports Council. You will hear more of the Soufrière Football League. You'd hear more of the basketballers, the netballers. More and more is coming out, little by little. So, of course, Miss and Rose, any final words to our listeners this afternoon?
We're coming to an end already.
Yes.
Final words. I would just like to say thank you to Soufre's youth for the support that they continue to give me in the capacity of the president of Faith United Sports Club and the Soufre Youth and Sports Council. Big thank you to Faith United players for doing what needs to be done, for staying consistent, being consistent, growing in their own respective fields. Very young men, and I'm very proud of them. I want them to know that I'm very proud of them and all what they do. No, they make me very proud, honestly. I trust that they will continue to grow in their respective fields on a right, positive path that could help develop and inspire others coming and looking up to them.
Right.
Thank you to my family who has continued to be instrumental, who continues to be instrumental in who I am today. I think 3 or 4 of them are locked in. Glenda, big up Glenda, Michaela, Isis, big up y'all. My mom is probably locked in. So shout out to my mom and my dad. But honestly, youth development in Soufre is something that's major to me. And I just want to see us as a united community where we could have each other's backs, be our brothers, keeper, assist, not only development-wise, but on that social growth. I want us to be great. I want us to do great things. And I'm happy that I can be in those spaces where I can be a voice for youth in Soufre. And I will continue to do so as long as I have the breath within me. Okay. So I just want to let people know that the Soufre Youth and Sports Council is trying, and we're very open to suggestions, ideas, queries. You can just reach us on our social media pages at Soufre Youth and Sports Council. Also, I was about to say.
Yeah, you could just reach us in person as well.
Yes, we also have 2 subcommittees: the youth development subcommittee and the sports subcommittee. We're looking for volunteers who are willing to give up their time, because we do have activities coming up, and we won't be able to do it alone as an executive. Right. So all those who are interested in volunteering their time to our youth development subcommittee or our sports subcommittee, we're more than willing to have your assistance on board. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to my coach who stayed tuned in. Mm-hmm. Big up Ace. Mm-hmm. Big up Precision Sounds.
Mm-hmm. Not it. Okay. Is a whole promo going here for Faith United? I'm not having it.
No, but thank you. Honestly, I'm really grateful. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Hopefully, I could be here again to talk about other activities that the Youth and Sports Council is having.
Okay.
But thank you. And I'm looking forward to working with Soufre Youth in future.
Of course. Thank you so much, Miss St. Rose. And of course, just before I thank her in full, of course, she would have mentioned that we're looking for volunteers for the youth committee and the sports committee. But listen, secret, we're also looking for sponsors. So if you're capable, of course,
yes,
just dig into your pockets and be generous enough. Say Soufre Youth and Sports Council. Of course, you could just put the check on the Soufre Youth and Sports Council's name. Of course,
you won't regret it.
Yes, you won't regret it, and you can keep us accountable.
Yes.
Yes, and of course, Miss St. Rose, big thank you to you for just joining us in studio today. And I want to take some time to big up Buzz, of course. Something that I always tell Bernell, because, you know, in as much as I'm her right-hand girl, I think she's my left-hand girl. So, you know, I kind of tell her some stuff. So, I was recently telling her, like, you see, when Buzz is in studio, I have more vibe. For some reason, he doesn't even have to stay in studio, but from time I know he's present, just in case anything goes wrong. Yeah. You know, so I want to big up Buzz for just always being present and ensuring that EDISA is positive.
Always making the vibe A1.
Yes. So I love it. Yes, I love it. So thank you so much, Buzz, and thank you so much too. I want to big up Lencia as well. And that's my girl. Big up Lencia. Without your support as well, EDISA wouldn't be doing this. But yes, I want to thank you. And to the community of Soufre, our young persons, as you go through the weekend, because we're approaching the weekend, I want you to remember that we all can contribute in some way. Don't let anybody make you believe like, hey, I'm not good enough. Guys on the block, I know y'all listening and y'all smart. One thing with y'all, I know y'all talented because we have conversations. So don't let anybody make you believe because you're on the block, you cannot be the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, a lot of the persons in the foreign, they didn't even do degrees. So, but it's true. That's facts. Don't make persons make you believe you cannot get up there.
You all have a role to play in society.
Go for it. And of course, I'll always be your backer.
Yes.
You
never
voices.
stop. Never stop.
Yes.
Keep going. Always remember that, guys. Never stop. Keep going. Always push yourself beyond your limits. You can do more than you think you can. Right? There is always space in society for every one of us. All of us has a piece in the pie. Okay?
Of course. And of course, this brings us to the end of our You Voices show for this afternoon. I am your host, Miss EDISA EUGENE. It is sad that I have to leave. Of course, it is very sad that I have to leave. However, I'm hoping to see you next week. Some of you may have already there to be in with us next week. It's going to be interesting because I am very much interested in knowing what make her go there. But of course, stay tuned in to just 88.5, the best radio show on island. Of course. So I am your host.
Your voice.
Yes,
your
I am
life.
your host. I am your host, Miss EDISA EUGENE, and see you next week.
Bye.
Welcome to Youth Voices with your host, Miss EDISA EUGENE, where we focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment in academics, entrepreneurship, sports, marginalized youth, and more. Tune in every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Youth Month 20